Alright, thank you very much for coming out, everyone. I'm going to keep this short and to the point so we can field some questions from everyone involved. Essentially, as of 22:45 hours on the 3rd of August, the Dr. Voodoo case has been officially closed. We're not at liberty to discuss the intricate details of the case, but we can reveal that the culprit was identified as one Yuri Zenturano. All three of the hostages that were taken by this individual, listed as Jolene Joyce, Opie Jones, and Lena Naki, have been recovered and are receiving care at Mount Zona by their outstanding medical staff that are there. We can also reveal that during his short stint in our custody, Yuri Zenturano unfortunately passed away. He had been cooperating with officers and suddenly lost consciousness. He was subsequently rushed to Sandy Shores Medical Center, where his condition deteriorated rapidly due to some unknown medical complication. The citizens of Los Santos can rest knowing that the serial killer known as Dr. Voodoo is no longer able to inflict terror upon the community. We want to assure you guys that we are here to keep everyone safe. Now, does anyone have any questions at all?
Yes.
Lady with the camera.
Yeah, just to kick things off, well, you say that, like, we can rest assured that the serial killer won't attack anyone else, like, this particular case. But the police response to this case was minimal. Like, how can we, as the citizens, trust that the police will adjust their response to this to avoid this happening in the future?
We have been working very hard behind the scenes. As you all know, we've had some difficulties with our numbers as of late, and we want to assure that even though we may seem smaller than we have before, we are working at full capacity to do everything we can to ensure the safety of everyone who lives in Los Santos. We're going to be that comes to our desk is followed through, and that the threat is properly assessed so we can determine the best course of action to take. Obviously, these things are going to take some time, and we're going to work around the clock as hard as we possibly can. Every case is important. Next question.
That was a good answer.
Anyone else?
Me. I've point a finger.
You pointing the
He's got his
finger?
hand up, mate.
Oh yeah, I'll stand up. So I have questions. Because the numbers are low right now, when do you think you can open applications again?
Anyone else have a question?
Yep. So though
Shoot.
you mentioned the condition of the hostages, but what about all of the victims? Do you know their current status as well?
We received a piece of evidence that was an internal organ that had been removed from someone's body. We passed that towards our colleagues at the Mount Zona Medical Center, who has identified that as a farmer that was living up in the north. It was rather fresh. We've still not located his body. However, we're going to be continuing our search to make sure that we can get some closure to that victim's family. As for any other victims that are in the case, any that pertain crucial information, any people that haven't had closure for those victims can rest assured that we are still going to continue our search even though the case is closed into this particular individual. Until we have some sort of information about those people, we will continue to do our best to ensure that at some point everyone knows what happened. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just another, are you going to be publicly naming any of the officers that were involved in this case?
We're not currently at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case.
Oh, come on. Give the people what they want.
Hey, yo.
At this moment in time, I can't confirm nor deny anyone that was involved in this case.
As I said earlier, there were only a handful of officers that were actually involved in this case when, in my opinion, with such a high threat, there should have been a greater response. Like, how can we, like, rest assured that, like, we can actually call upon the PD in the future?
Unfortunately, some situations require the use of surgical equipment rather than construction equipment. With this individual taking several hostages, we wanted to play this one as close to the chest as possible to avoid anything going wrong. While it may seem a small response, the precision of the officers and their ability to assess individual situations and maintain a level of calmness throughout allowed us to get to the response and end that we needed. This is obviously going to be an ongoing thing, but at the moment, we feel that it's more quality over quantity that is required in cases such as this.
Okay. I think my last question. So you've caught Dr. Voodoo, but what about his supposed friend that was at Legion Square as well that night of the storm? Do we have any status on?
At this moment, we have no new leads as to that individual's identity. We are aware of several sightings and dealings with this particular person. At this moment in time, we have no new leads. It's something that we're going to continue to monitor closely, and hopefully we can get a break in the case and bring this particular person to justice.
Well, the people are calling him Jason. What is the police referring to him as?
At the moment, we've not collected enough information to gather any sort of identifying marks or any way of identifying this person in a particular way. At such point as we're able to gather more information, we'll be able to release it to the general public and make sure everyone is aware of the best way to stay safe.
Okay. Do you have any parting words or advice if there is another case like this in the future?
Make sure that you get in contact with us as soon as possible. If we're not aware of a particular situation that's going on, we're not going to be able to respond and deal with it in the best way possible. At the end of the day, our biggest information source is you, the people of Los Angeles. We want you to be able to trust us to help you in your time of need and bring anyone who does wrong to this great city and its fair citizens to justice. Thank you all for coming. If there's no further questions, please feel free to leave whenever you feel comfortable.
What?
Thank
I thought I was
you.
getting free Chipotle. What's this?
Hey, yo, anybody got some food, man?
Where's
Woo,
my
good
Chipotle?
job, Dorans.
Yeah.
Hey, who needs food? I got some ramen for you.
Eddie Banks, Eddie Banks.
Good job, lovely PD we have.
Who needs food?
Woo!
Good luck to the new cadets.
We love cops. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Later.
All my homies love
Yay.
PD.